Because if there's something else that's first in your life, in front of God, God knows that down the road, that very thing is going to destroy you. Therefore, God will not take second place to anything. Amen. Husbands, how many of you want another man between you and your wife? I don't think I don't see a hand raised anywhere. Well, of course not. You say, Jury, what a stupid question to ask. Well, God doesn't want anything between you and Him. Amen. Why? Because you're His bride. You belong to Him. He purchased you with a price. He bought you. He paid for you. He suffered for you. Therefore, you're His property. You belong to Him. Glory to God. You know, we can learn a lot from little simple things in life. You learn a lot from a dog. You know that? My son, many years ago, he was real small, 6, 7 years old. We lived right outside of Flemingsburg there. We were there for a long time. Milk cows there and things. You remember when we lived there. Anyway, Kevin, and I had to watch, I'll call Kevin Colton, because Colton's my grandson. But Kevin, somebody gave him a little puppy, little border collie pup. And I thought, I asked him, I said, honey, what'd you take that old dog for, you know? The first night, that little old pup barked all night long. Of course, it missed its mommy, you know. Within a day or two, you know, it settled down. He named it Snoopy. I don't know where he got that name, but he named it Snoopy. But that dog bonded with me and him just like, you talk about loyal, and she was smart. I believe you could tell that dog to open the door and she'd try to open it. You could send her after the cows and she'd go get the cows. She never would milk, but she'd always go get the cows. Jack would have been nice if we had one that would have done the milking, wouldn't it? You know, our cows ran on the other side of the bypass, so of the morning when I come out to milk, I would come out and get in the truck, and I'd hear it just like that. Thump, thump, old Snoopy would jump in the back of the truck. So I would drive up the road and down the bypass. I'd pull up to the gate and I'd say, Snoopy, go get them. So while Snoopy was bringing the cows in, I'd go back over to the milk house, and then the time I got over there, the cows would be in. You know, she's a pretty good hand. Well, it's been 30 years ago, I imagine. We were fortunate enough to get to take off a few days and go down to Tennessee. So my wife's nephew said he would milk for me while we were gone. So they just stayed in our house. He said every morning he would come out to milk, and I guess Snoopy would forget that we weren't there. He would get in the truck, and he said, just like that, he said, I hear Snoopy jump in the back of the truck. But he said when I stopped at the mailbox to make sure there wasn't anybody coming, he said she'd jump back out. She wouldn't take a drink of water. She wouldn't eat a bite of food until we came back, because she knew that I was her master. She didn't have two masters. Listen, friend, a good servant understands he only has one master. God is your master. Remember what Jesus said over in John chapter 8? If you think you can hold on to two masters, you can't do it. He reproved the scribes and the Pharisees. They said that we're Abraham's children. We don't know about you. And Jesus says, no, if you were Abraham's children, you'd do the works of Abraham. And they said, God is thy father. Jesus says, no, he's not. He said, you're children of the devil. Hey, this is a hard statement, but this morning I either belong to God or I belong to Satan. There is no middle ground. There is no room for compromise. I belong to one or the other. One or the other owns me. One or the other possesses me. Amen. A good servant understands that. Thirdly, now this is a hard one for us. A good servant, his will is broken. It must be broken now. And it's broken to the will of his master. Now this is a hard pill for you and for me to swallow at times. What does it mean to have your will broken? As long as your will's in the way, God will get no glory from you. Because as long as your will's in the way, your life's still about you. It's not about Him. I don't know how many of you saw it on the History Channel, but we visit the old slave house in Maysville. Has anybody else ever visited that down there?